Racism, a deeply rooted issue that continues to plague societies around the world. Despite decades of progress towards equality, it remains an unfortunate part of life in the United States, just as it does in many other countries. In today's video, we will dive into the topic of racism and explore the top 10 most racist states in America in 2023. But before we begin, if you find this content informative and thought-provoking, consider subscribing to our channel to stay updated with more engaging discussions. Now let's get started and uncover the states that have been marred by racial discrimination. Number 10, Arizona. Coming in at number 10, we have Arizona. While most of our discussion will revolve around the southern states, Arizona deserves a mention. Despite its significant Hispanic population, the state faces notable challenges in race relations. Arizona has been subject to criticism due to its harsh immigration laws, which some argue are deeply ingrained in its culture and government. Shockingly, 71.4% of the state's bias-motivated crimes are directed towards race, ethnicity, or ancestry. Number 9, South Carolina. Moving on to number 9, we arrive in South Carolina. This state has a long and troubled history when it comes to race relations, including its involvement in slavery and segregation. In recent years, South Carolina has faced criticism for its voter suppression efforts, which have disproportionately affected people of color. Notably, bias-motivated crimes in South Carolina target individuals based not only on race or ancestry, but also on religion and sexual orientation. It's crucial to address the alarming statistics, with 28% of these crimes aimed at people of different religions and 11% towards individuals of diverse sexual orientations. Number 8, North Carolina. Our countdown continues with number 8, North Carolina. This state has faced significant discrimination against African Americans, particularly in voting rights. Critics argue that North Carolina's voter suppression efforts, including strict voter ID laws and purging voter rolls, disproportionately affect people of color. Although voting laws are necessary, it's essential to ensure accessibility for all citizens. In terms of bias-motivated crimes, 79.6% in North Carolina are related to race and ancestry, 13.4% to sexual orientation, and 6.5% to religion. Number 7, Texas. At number 7, we encounter Texas, a state known for its large and diverse population. Despite its diversity, Texas grapples with significant issues in race relations. The state has faced criticism for its harsh immigration laws, which, like Arizona, some argue stem from its local government and cultural dynamics. Texas has also recently attempted to pass new voting laws, raising concerns about their impact on people of color. Looking at the statistics, 70.1% of bias-motivated crimes in Texas are based on race, ethnicity, or ancestry. Surprisingly, 17% are due to sexual orientation, and 7.5% are related to religion. A newer trend emerges with 1.9% of crimes motivated by gender identity, according to the Department of Justice. Number 6. Arkansas. Coming in at number 6 is Arkansas. Sadly, this state has a history of segregation and discrimination, particularly in education. Underfunded and segregated schools have contributed to persistent racial achievement gaps, hindering progress towards racial equality. Similar to other states, Arkansas has also faced accusations of voter suppression. The Department of Justice reports that 68.4% of bias-motivated crimes in Arkansas are based on race and ancestry, while 21.5% are related to religion, and 8.6% target individuals due to their sexual orientation. Number 5, Mississippi. Now let's move on to number 5, Mississippi. With its troubled past, Mississippi remains one of the states struggling to overcome racial divides. It was historically known for its deep-rooted racism and segregation during the Jim Crow era. Despite progress over the years, Mississippi still faces significant challenges. The state's education system, economic disparities, and voting laws have all been subject to scrutiny for their potential impact on communities of color. Bias-motivated crimes in Mississippi predominantly target race and ancestry, accounting for 71.2%, followed by religion at 19.1% and sexual orientation at 9.7%. Number 4, Tennessee. Moving on to number 4, we have Tennessee. Despite its association with a rich musical history, the state has a troubling racial past that continues to impact its present. Tennessee has faced criticism for its historical and ongoing school segregation practices, contributing to the persistence of racial disparities in education. Additionally, concerns have been raised about the disproportionate disciplinary actions taken against students of color, highlighting systemic biases within the education system. Tennessee has also implemented strict voter ID laws, which critics argue disproportionately affect minority communities. These laws have sparked debates about voter suppression and their potential to limit the participation of marginalized groups in the democratic process. Number 3, Georgia. Moving on to number 3, we arrive in Georgia. While the state has seen notable advancements, racial tensions continue to be a pressing issue. Georgia's implementation of controversial voter ID laws and allegations of voter suppression have sparked national debates about the fairness and inclusivity of the electoral process. These actions have particularly drawn attention to their potential impact on minority communities, raising concerns about equal access to voting rights. The handling of high-profile cases involving racial profiling and police brutality in Georgia has further exacerbated racial tensions. These incidents have prompted discussions about the need for police reform and the fair treatment of individuals from marginalized communities within the criminal justice system. Number 2, Alabama. Taking the second spot on our list is Alabama, a state with a deeply entrenched history of racism and segregation. Alabama's past has been marred by racial tensions, and the effects of this history still linger today. The state gained significant attention during the civil rights movement as it became a battleground for fighting against racial discrimination. Despite progress over the years, Alabama continues to face challenges in achieving racial equality. Disparities persist in areas such as education, employment, and the criminal justice system, reflecting the need for ongoing efforts to address systemic inequities. Alabama's implementation of strict voter ID laws has also faced criticism, with concerns raised about potential voter suppression, particularly among minority communities. These laws have sparked debates about the accessibility and fairness of the electoral process, highlighting the importance of protecting voting rights for all citizens. Bias-motivated crimes in Alabama primarily target individuals based on their race and ancestry, accounting for 75.8% of such incidents. This statistic emphasizes the continued existence of racial tensions within the state. Religion-based bias crimes constitute 16.7% of the total, underscoring the need to promote religious tolerance and understanding. Additionally, 7.5% of bias-motivated crimes target individuals based on their sexual orientation, highlighting the challenges faced by the LGBTQ+ community. Number 1, Louisiana. Taking the top spot on our list is Louisiana, a state with a complex and troubled past. Louisiana's history is intertwined with the slave trade and racial segregation, leaving a lasting impact on its present-day racial dynamics. Despite progress in recent years, the state still grapples with significant challenges in achieving racial equality. One area of concern is the criminal justice system, where Louisiana has earned a reputation for having one of the highest incarceration rates in the country. This overrepresentation of people of color in the prison system highlights persistent racial disparities and raises questions about the fairness of law enforcement and sentencing practices. Bias-motivated crimes in Louisiana primarily target individuals based on their race and ancestry, accounting for 74.9% of such incidents. This statistic underscores the need for continued efforts to address racial prejudice and discrimination within the state. Religion-based bias crimes constitute 15.6% of the total, emphasizing the importance of promoting religious tolerance and fostering understanding among diverse communities. Additionally, 9.5% of bias-motivated crimes target individuals based on their sexual orientation, highlighting the challenges faced by the LGBTQ+ community and the importance of advocating for their rights and safety. And there you have it, the top 10 most racist states in America in 2023. It's important to acknowledge that progress has been made in many of these states, but there is still work to be done to achieve true racial equality and overcome the legacies of racism. Let's continue striving for a more inclusive and equitable society for all. That's it for today. We hope you found our video interesting. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our new uploads. In the end, thanks for watching and see you next time.